AITA for putting child-proof locks on the stove to stop my adult sister from using it. I, F19, live with my stepsister Nicole, F20. We're live together in a small 2-bedroom apartment whilst we both attend the same college. Our hometown is a small rural area that's around a 3-hour drive away. My dad married Nicole's mother around 11 years ago. Nicole and I know each other pretty well and have spent a lot of time together. We haven't gotten along, which siblings have, but we do consider each other sisters. Anyway, onto the story. So me and Nicole both got sick of dorms and moved in together around 2 months ago. Back at home, Nicole never cooked for herself, not beyond microwave meals, anyway, and now that we're both supposed to be living independently, she's started cooking. Nicole keeps forgetting to turn off the stove or oven when she's finished with them. At one point, this nearly caused a full-blown house fire when she forgot about the stove whilst a paper plate of her shad been left on top of it. I kept gently reminding Nicole to turn off the oven, stove when she's done with them, but she just doesn't seem to listen. I even tried putting sticky notes around the kitchen to try to remind her. Eventually, Nicole got irritated with the reminder and told me I'm treating her like a child. I sighed, I'm sorry if it came off that way, but she needs to remember. The problem has just kept persisting, and a near miss with a house fire happened again when Nicole forgot about the stove, and she didn't hear the smoke detector because she was blasting music on her AirPods. Luckily, I noticed it and was able to put it out. I tried to have a talk with Nicole and told her this needs to stop. Nicole just got mad before I could even suggest anything and told me to get off her case. She said I'm overreacting and can handle it. She refused to listen to anything I had to say and kept talking over me. This has started to make me really anxious, especially when Nicole is home whilst I'm out. I bought some plastic child locks for the knobs that control the stove and oven, and I placed them on there. I know Nicole can't open child-proof. This way, she can't use the stove or oven when I'm out of the home. When I'm home, I can make sure nothing bad happens. Me and Nicole have similar class schedules, so this shouldn't inconvenience her too much. Nicole went apeshit when she noticed them, and started screaming at me and told me I'm a control freak and bullying her. I yelled back, told her I wouldn't be doing it if she could act like a responsible adult. Nicole called me a itch and said I have no business controlling when she gets to cook. She's now gone to a friend's place and has blocked my phone number. My dad and stepmother got concerned after getting texts off Nicole, and they keep messaging me about it, telling me I need to get Nicole to come back. Am I the AmItheAsshole? AITA for telling my sister her boyfriend can't move into her home because I own it? Edit. Title is supposed to say, AITA for telling my sister her boyfriend can't move into her home because I own it. My 41M sister, 52F, is the eldest of our mom's 9 children. She has always been the most important person in my life, and I owe her so much. She's had a very tough life, but despite this never fails to be the nicest and most giving person. In 2016, myself and 2 of my brothers bought her a small house. It was a bit of a fixer-upper, and we spent a year on, off renovating it into a dream house for her. She lives there now with her youngest 2 children, 13M, 15F, and our autistic brother, 43M. She has been dating her boyfriend for around 10 months. None of our family like this man, and he is a massive loser. He is an old friend of one of our brothers that OD'd and died almost a decade ago. This man is also an addict, spent time in prison, and is a deadbeat dad to his daughters. We all want her to end things with him, but she seems very in love. We don't just blindly hate the man but are actually concerned with her having him in her life. She is 10+ years sober and his influence could cause her to relapse. She has a history of dating, marrying abusive men, and most importantly, I don't want him around my niece, nephew, and her grandkids. On Saturday, my sister told me that he was going to move in with her because he is getting kicked out of his apartment. They won't let him renew his lease. I instinctively told her that it was a bad idea and that I see things ending badly. She blew me off and changed the subject, so I let it go. 4th moment. I texted her youngest son later and asked him what he thought and if he was okay with it. He essentially said no and that he did not like the guy. I also contacted my other brothers that I co-bought the house with, and they were also unhappy she was inviting him to move in. They agreed that I could tell her as owners of the house that he cannot move in with her. I told her this yesterday and she was soon happy and told me I was overstepping and interfering with her life. I gave her my reasons and told her we just wanted to protect her and her kids. She asked me how I would stop her from moving him in, and I threatened that I would call CPS and tell them she was allowing an addict to live with her children. For good measure, my cousin and I went to where her boyfriend drinks and told him he wasn't going to be moving in. My younger sister called me last night to berate me for banning this man from moving in and told me I was using the excuse of protecting our sister to actually control her life. She thinks me and my brothers are SSES for using something nice we did for her as a tool now to interfere with her life. My younger sister has only met the boyfriend once, whereas my brothers and I have known him for years and know what he is like. She is really only going of information our sister told her. AITA? AITA for being unsympathetic toward my brother and Sil and telling them not to snoop if they don't want to know hurtful things? My brother and Sil snooped in my now adult niece's diary from when she was a child and teenager. My niece wasn't big on writing in it ever but occasionally did over a decade of her childhood, from age 7 to 17. It wasn't something she thought much about unless she was writing in it. What my brother and Sil found in the diary left them with many negative feelings. Sil is my brother's second wife and is not the mother of my niece and Harold, her brother, my nephew. She married my brother 18 months after his first wife died. My niece was 7 and my nephew was 8. In the diary, my niece had written that her stepmother was second best. Thatch wished she could trade her to get her mom back, and apparently there were a number of pages about how she felt her stepmother didn't deserve to be there for certain moments over her mom. My brother and Sil actually confronted my niece about this. Sil brought up that she went to find AITA in the first place because she always felt second best and how niece's wedding was making it even worse, because she, Sil, wasn't invited to do much with niece. Niece was angry they had read it and said she thought she had trashed it before she moved out. My brother thought that meant she regretted writing that and she said no, but she was never planning to let those thoughts get out, Thatch and her brother, and there were pages about Hamad niece saying the same stuff regarding Sil. Had agreed it would be something between them. My brother said they should have spoken up and he could have fixed it. She told him that would never have happened. That they only had one mother and no, that one mother was not Sil. Sil apparently asked her directly if she still felt that way about her. Felt she did not deserve her place in their lives, was easily traded for their long-dead mother, her words not mine, and was nothing more than her father's wife in her eyes. My niece confirmed this. I heard about what happened from my niece and nephew originally. They warned me my brother was ready to vent to anyone who would listen. He and Sil did try to use me to vent to and I told them I did not agree with their actions snooping and didn't want to hear from them on it. Then about a week ago they were telling our parents all about ITA and whining about what awful things my niece had written. I told them they shouldn't have snooped if they didn't want to learn hurtful things. My brother said I was being an unsympathetic itch. Maybe he's right. AITA? AITA for saying dishwashing is unskilled labor? I've been seeing this girl for 3 months who I'm pretty into. She's a professional chef, hot, and basically a badass. She smokes pot and drinks a lot more than me, but other than that I have no complaints. She's very assertive because she has Toby in her line of work and luckily I'm into that, if you know what I mean. She works at an upscale bar, hence the drinking, where the food is really important, and she's super talented so her dishes get written up in our local media, which is so cool. It feels a bit like dating a celebrity when we go out because she seems talk now all the industry people and we get free drinks and stuff. The problem came up when she was complaining about her job, which she does a lot. She says her boss unsupportive and won't hire more help for the kitchen. Right now she does almost everything herself so her hours are crazy long and she's stressed all the time. I agree it doesn't make sense to be so short-staffed because it seems like the bar is always busy and they make good money. The owner is an old-school boomer guy who thinks she's overreacting, or so she says. I don't like feeling helpless when she complains about work, so I offered to help wash dishes one night so she wouldn't have to work until 3 a.m. and we could go out. I made a lot of money and tech Andre tired early so I have some time on my hands. She looked surprised and laughed and said, "Thank you for the offer." I was kind of hoping she would turn me down, but the way she said it was kinda patronizing, so I pressed a bit. She went into professional mode and asked if I'd ever washed dishes before. I said, yes, obviously, but not in a restaurant or anything. Now she looked really annoyed and asked why I thought I could just jump in and wash dishes without any experience. I laughed at this and said anyone could wash dishes. Teenagers do it as their first job. Offended and said I didn't understand the realities of kitchen work because it's not easy and dishwashers are the most important person in the restaurant. I thought that was a huge exaggeration. I worked at a Wendy's in high school and it's the same skill set. What she does is skilled, but washing dishes is not skilled labor. She said, there's such thing as unskilled labor, and I'd take you upon your offer if I thought you wouldn't mess up service. I thought that was really rude and misguided. No such thing as unskilled labor. Are you kidding me? And told her so. She told me I was condescending and presumptuous, and she gets enough of that from her boss. The date was awkward for a while until she smiled and changed the subject, but now I can't stop wondering if her boss doesn't have a point about her overreacting. AITA. Edit. She specifically said she needed a dishwasher. I didn't just pick it because I thought it was easy. Sorry, that was unclear. Edit 2. All she said by way of explanation was I just run over. I asked what made it skilled. She said I was starting a bigger conversation that she didn't want to have right then while she was upset and not entirely sober. Fair enough.